Good morning. This is Kenny Tan. Is everybody hearing me okay? I hope so. uh, if you're not hearing me okay, please let me know. Okay. I'm in a different environment today, as you can see. I'm in Northern California at the Fremont, my apartment. All right. It looks like a lot of enthusiasm today, so that's good. All right. So everybody's hearing me okay. Excellent. Now, as you can see, uh, the background is the background of my apartment. However, awesome. Thank you. Now today I got a lot of people attending, which is really good, and I really appreciate you guys taking the time to join me to learn some new stuff together. Okay, Nick, I see Nick there too. Kathleen. All right, if I miss your name, it wasn't intentional. Now, if you're watching, hold on, Hannah. Now, if you're watching from your car or you're not at a laptop, you're not, hello, Carlos, and you're not able to come into the chat room to say hello, uh, do me a favor. At the end of the show, leave me a message in the comment section. That way, I know you watched the show the entire time. Just leave something in the comment section and say, Kenny, I was here or I was there. Okay. Now, if you have, for whatever reason, have to miss this video, we always have the after recording. You can always go ahead and watch it. And also do me a favor, after you watch it, go to the comment section and let me know you watch it. You can say something like completed. All right. Okay, we got Annie as well. Okay, good. So looks like pretty full house today. We got 29 people already, so that's very good. I'm sure some folks are watching from their cars because they have to be somewhere. Now regarding attendance, uh, uh, you know, I think this is a unique opportunity for us to get together. We only get together once a week, and I hope it's not a lot to ask for us to be together for an hour. I have to be in Sacramento in the afternoon, but I still commit myself to putting on the training for you guys. Now today we got 4 different exciting topics to discuss. First one has to do with the do's and don'ts of social media, and the second is zip form fundamentals. The third one is FUPTA. And then the fourth, of course, is the rule number 4 of how to win friends and influence people. Become genuinely interested in the other person. I think that's extremely important. I'm going for my listing appointment on Thursday in Oakland. And Monday, I'm going for my listing appointment in El Monte. And none of this from prospecting for a change. This one of them is from my Sacramento one is actually from social media, and then I got the Oakland one, that's also from social media, and the one in El Monte is actually for my past connection. So as you can see, in real estate, you must be either a very good prospector or you gotta be very good in social media. Pick your pick, which ones you like to be good at. I would say that most people would say I would rather be good in social media because prospecting is really tough. Although now is a good time to prospect because the eviction moratorium is coming to an end. Hopefully they don't extend it because it's supposed to end on June 30th. Now after June 30th, I think you're going to see more and more landlords wanting to sell their properties to put their properties on the market. So it is definitely a good time to prospect. But if you don't like to call strangers, don't worry. You can always use social media. So today we're going to talk about how you can be successful in social media. Now let's go ahead and dive into the first topic of the day. Oh, Feng Jiao. Okay. Libby, how are you? So we got 34 people already. So must be interesting topics today, huh? Okay. All right, let me go to my first topic, which is the do's and don'ts of social media. All right. Now let's start with the do's. Now, if you want to be successful in social media, most important thing is you gotta be consistent. It's very, very difficult to be consistent. As you know, I have a virtual assistant that helped me with my social media postings. She's pretty consistent. I want to show you her daily report so you know how consistent she is. So this is my email. And every day she gives me a report and she tells me what she has accomplished for my social media. All right, I need to go to share screen mode. Sorry about that. I forgot about that. I need to go to share screen mode. That way you can see my screen, okay? All right, this is, no, that's not share screen. No, that's not share screen either. So, okay, no worries, no worries. So that's the slide. Okay, now this is a share screen. So I can share my screen with you because I want to show you her daily report, what it looks like. Because I think she is an amazing virtual assistant. She really helps me with my social media. Of course, some of you may have interaction with her from Skyslope, but she's definitely great in what she does. If you can find a VA like that, it can really, really help you with your social media game. Now, this is a daily report. As you can see, she gives me daily report every day. Every day it's like this. Now, if I open up her daily report, you can see how consistent she posts. And it's not just about posting, though. When you work on social media, it's about interaction with your followers and also interaction with the people that you follow. Now, on Instagram, I'm doing 20 likes and 10 comments, and that is mandatory for her. Each day she's supposed to like 20 posts, and she's supposed to respond to 10 posts at a minimum. So she has to respond to that. And then she will do 5 schedules for me for Tailwind. Tailwind is what I use to post on Pinterest. And then she will do 4 pins in the community. Now on Pinterest, there's such a thing called the community. Community are actually groups where people with the same interest gather and do their Pinterest pin. So she will go ahead and share their pins. Now the purpose of doing that, it's called reciprocity. So in general, the law of reciprocity actually applies. It's the same thing in social media. If you do something good for people, people will reciprocate. That's how it works. It's not about you all the time. Okay? And then she would do what else she does. Okay, I'll show you what else she does. Other than following up with you guys on Skyslope, she also will go to, now on LinkedIn, she will connect 20 people daily for me. Okay, so each day I'm adding 20 connections through her efforts. And then she will do 20 likes for me every day. And for LinkedIn, I limited to 5 because she's got a lot of work already. So she would write 5 comments. And for Twitter, I follow 5 people daily. And she will do 20 likes for me. And then she will write 10 comments on Twitter daily. Okay? The messages on LinkedIn, of course, I will respond to messages. Now for Twitter, we also make it a point to retweet other people's tweets. So, it's to part of what I'm saying is that you got to be interested in other people before people can become interested in you. Okay? All right, so these are her activities, and I get her to help her with me on the social media, and she's been doing an awesome job. Okay, Now let's go back to my other screen. Let's go to screen number 2. All right, we're back to screen number 2. Now, as you can see, social media, it's all about the effort. Now, if you don't have time to do it, hire somebody to do it for you, because, you know, you got to put in the time. If you don't put in the time, you're not going to be successful in social media. I haven't even begun to talk about WeChat. You know how many people add me every day on WeChat? A lot. Okay, I'm just busy WeChatting people every day. I wish I can find a VA that can help me with that, because I'm getting overloaded on WeChat. So very soon, hopefully the person in Malaysia who speaks Chinese can help me with my interactions on WeChat. All right. I do post online, but same thing, I don't have the time to interact people online. Okay. Now, I did a lousy job over the years. Over the years, I did a lousy job on Facebook. That's why I don't have a lot of good interaction on Facebook. You know, a lot of people complain that, well, you know, Kenny, people said, you know, Facebook is a good place to get leads. It is, but you gotta do it the right way. But if you do the wrong way, you're not gonna get leads on Facebook. It's a social media too, so you gotta do it the right way. You gotta be interested in people first before people become interested in you. All right, let's go ahead and look at my other screen. All right, now the next point I'm making is be genuine. See, when you post something, or when you post a comment in reacting to a post that somebody posted, few of us take the trouble to be genuine in our post. You know, it's very easy to just kind of click like. It's more difficult, more time consuming to think about what would be a clever or meaningful response to somebody's post. I will show a few examples to you in a minute, but you gotta be genuine. You know, don't use emojis all the time. Emojis don't work. So when my VA started working for me, she was doing her old way. She started using emojis. I said, well, you gotta stop using emoji, because that is not genuine. A genuine has to be a type of response that if people read it, people know you are not being superficial. You are being genuine. You are touched, or you are saddened by something, or you are amused by something, or your day is brightened by something. You know, you just have to be genuine. That's very, very important. And of course, always respond to messages. That's why you need help from VA, because by yourself, you're just not going to have time to respond to every single messages. Now, if you have ever been one of my students in my Chinese real estate class, you know, on my YouTube channel, I pretty much respond to over 90% of the messages that people leave me on my YouTube channel. And it's actually doing quite well, okay? Organically, I've grown to about, now without any advertisement, that's organically. I've grown to about 1,400 plus subscribers, and my daily view is right at about close to 700 views a day right now. My end of the year target is 1,000 views per day for my Chinese real estate and loan training channel. So that one is doing great. Okay, I hope to do the same thing for the English channel. All right, now let's talk about the don'ts. All right, now the don'ts of social media. Okay, now don't do any kind of follows and unfollows. You know, if you try to do shortcuts, follow by follow, the social media platform will punish you. Now, we got punished recently on Instagram because my VA, she was doing that trick of following and unfollowing. For in a short period of time, we gained a lot of followers, and then eventually they find out about it. That's taking a shortcut, and now we're getting punished. We're stuck at about 1,020 plus followers. I mean, right now we're spinning our wheel. Basically, each day we'll get 2 or 3 new followers, and then the algorithm just kind of subtract those number of followers from our actual number of followers, as if to punish us for doing the follow and unfollow. And that's pretty bad. Okay, do not take shortcuts. Do the actual work, and you will see your social media platform grow. Okay. Don't always post advertisements only. If you do that all the time, people are going to alienate you. I found out the hard way on Facebook, and very soon I don't have any people interacting with me anymore. So I'm making a tone for that. These days, I don't post pure advertisements. I might post advertisement from time to time. I'm asking my VA to post things that are not related to advertisement. What type of content do you post then? Well, as I indicated to you, I post 5 different kinds of content daily on Instagram, now on Facebook, now on LinkedIn, and now on Twitter. Pinterest, same thing. I post 5 different kinds of content on Pinterest. So as you can see, it is a lot of posting, and I need help from the VA. Okay. All right. Now let's go ahead and go to the next topic. Next topic is about what? Okay. Now, next topic is about how to win friends and influence people. Now, previously we went over 3 rules, and now we are on rule number 4. Rule number 4 is called become genuinely interested in other people. Let me close my door. Apparently it's pretty noisy here. Now the second slide is this statement here. It says you can make more friends in 2 months by becoming interested in other people than you can in 2 years by making other people interested in you. So in other words, if you want to be if you want to be successful in social media, you got to be interested in other people. If they post something, you got to react, but you got to have the time to do it. If you can have a body double, somebody who thinks like you, now of course you can train your VA to think like you. My VA is actually pretty good. She posts some really, really clever comments, which I'll show it to you in a few moments. She writes very well. I think because of religious background, she is very good with writing things that motivates people or inspire people. Now daily, if you can post things that inspire people or motivate people, sooner or later, people are going to become more and more interested in you. Now when they become more and more interested in you, that's when you start posting a little bit about what you do. Now even when you post activities related to what you do, in a way you're trying to generate leads from there, but you can write it in a way it doesn't sound like an advertisement. It's a sharing of your day-to-day routine. Okay, that may not necessarily be advertisement. Now even one day when you post advertisement, people are not offended by it anymore, because by that time they would have become so attracted to you, or they become attracted to your content. You post just about any kind of content, you're going to get people liking it. I learned that from my Instagram because when I started posting advertisement, you feel that there are very, very few people interested in your content. But the minute you start interacting with them, you like their posts, you interact with their posts, you're going to see them interacting with you more. Even the stuff that they don't, the Chinese stuff, they still like it anyway. It's just like your picture. Okay. So exactly. So you gotta be genuinely interested in other people. Okay. All right. The last statement is we are interested in others when they are interested in us. That's just a human psychology thing. Okay. So I think that's important that we all need to adopt. I mean, it's not just I. I mean, we've always had the I mentality. Sooner or later, we're gonna find ourselves having less and less people interested in us. So I think it's important that we start becoming interested in others if you want to be successful. Okay. Now this is actually in the book How to Win Friends and Influence People. If you have not bought that book, I highly recommend you get that book and read it from time to time so you can constantly remind yourself what are some of the important principles that make us successful in human interaction. So each week I'll share with you a principle whenever I can. I used to share this thing in my Fremont with my Fremont group in the past. So I think it is important I share with you. All right, now let's go ahead and dive into the third topic, which has to do with zip form fundamental. Okay, now let's go ahead and let's see which one is the share screen. So this is the share screen. So I'm going to go into my zip form. Now, if you're not able to see my screen, please yell out. Okay, because I am in share screen mode, so you should be able to see my screen. Okay, I am in zip form. For those of you that are brand new to zip form, here's my suggestion. They suggest Lone Wolf. Lone Wolf is the provider for our zip form. Now, Lone Wolf suggests that you sign on to your zip form through California Association of Realtors. So the easiest way to get there would be to go ahead and Google zip forms. If you Google zip forms, this is what you get. Okay. Now I already have an account. So when it brings to me to this screen, by default, because my computer remembers my username and password, all I got to do is to click sign in. Okay. But if you don't have an account, you should go ahead and register. Okay, now here's a register button. If you click it, it will take you to this screen. So you go ahead and sign up for an account using your NRDS ID, and then put in your last name, and then you can go ahead and submit. That's how you get your account. Okay, I already have an account, so I just go ahead and click this, and then it'll take me to this screen, and then I just go ahead and click sign in. Okay. Now some of you might find that, hey, Kenny, I already know this stuff, but I got news for you. There are some new things that you didn't know. So chances are they're new to me, they're probably new to you as well. So we might as well learn this together. Okay. Now, once I click sign in, you take me to this screen. So click on your account. Okay. It says hi Kenny, right? And then you say access a zip form. Okay. Now my account is what we call the Elite Agent account. It has more stuff in it, it's a premium. Because it is a premium, you have to pay extra for it. But I think it is definitely worth it, especially when you have MLS Connect and Record Connect. Now, if you don't know what MLS Connect or Record Connect is, it's supposed to save you time and energy. Now, did you ever have to prepare an offer where you have to look up the listing agent's contact information, then everything, and then you just manually type that in? Oh my God, that's very time consuming. So by signing up with Elite Agent, you can save yourself a ton of time because you can auto populate the listing agent's information just by linking the MLS information to your zip form. You don't have to type that because that's automatically populated for you. Now, with Elite Agent, you will also have Record Connect. Imagine you have to fill in the seller's information. Now, where are you going to get seller's information? You go to Realist Text. You have to type in everything? No, that's a lot of work. You might as well get Elite Agent and also get Record Connect. So two things, MLS Connect and Record Connect. You can auto populate the property information and the seller's information. And then the MLS Connect, you can auto populate the listing agent's broker information and the listing salesperson information. So everything is populated. You don't have to type anything. Okay. Now, once you're in this screen, this is a typical screen that you will see. Okay, if you're signing in with a car website, what you want to click is where it says transactions. I usually go to transaction first because this is where I spend most of my time. So I click this one right here. It says access zip form. You see that? It says access zip form. So you click this one. Now once you click that, you will take you to zip form and you just click continue. Okay. All right, now from time to time I have to check on you guys. Is everybody still with me? I hope you're still with me. If you're having trouble hearing me, say something in the chat room so I know. Okay, welcome Veronica and welcome Jennifer and welcome Lynn. All right, so I am in my zip form. Now what appears on your screen when you enter will depend on your setting. You can do all of that. Mine is already previously set up. Alex, still here. Audio still good. Okay, thank you. All right, now this particular page, for me, because I spend a lot of time in the transaction page, that's why by default I set this up to show up in a transaction. But you can actually set up. Oh, screen is a little blurry. Anyone else finding the screen blurry? I don't know why the screen's blurry. It looks pretty clear to me. Okay. But are you able to see the navigation bar at the top? If you can see that, we are good. If you can't, then we have an issue. Okay. Anyone else finding the screen blurry? Or do I need to fix that? Okay, clear to some people. So, Carlos, maybe it's your side. You might want to check it out. Okay. All right. So, now as you can see, this is my home screen because by default, my home screen is transaction. You can actually set up. There's a place to set up. And let's go to setup first. For those of you that are new, we will go to setup. Now you can see on the right hand side, it shows what type of account you have. My account is elite agent, so I paid extra for the goodies, a couple of things that I mentioned to you. Okay, all right, let's go ahead and click me. Me is an important page. Now once you click me, it says here this is an individual agent account. I'll probably change it to a broker agent later on because I will have TC working on my zip form, so I need to have assistant being able to access my zip form. So I'll change my account. Just imagine having to give TC access code every time they want to get in. That's a lot of work. So remember, starting next year or maybe later in the year, if you have a need, if you decide to use a TC, you need to change your account to allow a second person to log onto your account to do all the TC work for you. Okay. Now this one is interesting though. It does allow Chinese though. No English and Espanol, no Chinese. So just English and Espanol. Okay. All right. Now once you're in if you're first time here, oh yeah, probably, huh? Blurry screen, probably. Carlos, have your eyesight checked. I know I'm the one who's supposed to complain about blurry screen. I'm supposed to go for cataract surgery. I have not been able to do that yet. I was going to wait until I got 2 shots of the vaccination. Now it's time. It's getting worse, and I'm seeing blurry screen right now, I'm telling you. Okay, but I make do with what I have. All right, let's go ahead and look at the profile and settings. Okay. Now, if you're in profile and setting, there are a few important things I want to share with you. Now, this is where you input your name, your first name, last name. See the red asterisk? That means mandatory. Your email, you can have a different email for zip form. You don't have to use your personal email for zip form. You don't want to. Okay. But I use my personal one. Phone number, I use my 510 Fremont office phone number. Fax number, I use the 800 fax number. And agent license number, I should go and fill this in. No wonder I can't get prompted for my license number every single time. So I'm going to take care of that today. Okay. All right. Okay. Take care of that today. All right. Let's see. Let's see what else we can input here on profile. Email signature is good though. You can set up your email signature. Now let's look at my email signature. What do I have? This is what my email signature looks like. Just my name, my DIE number. I actually should put down Centamac here. Okay. Company name should always be there. And I got my 415 number, 714 number. I believe you can put in whatever link, social media link you want to put in. They have the link icon here. Okay. So you can go ahead and use that. Okay. I don't have time to demonstrate to you, but there's all sorts of goodies in here. Okay. So for now, I just put in the bare minimum. All right. Or I can put in my slogan here. Okay, you know what my slogan here is? Okay. Selling real estate is 80% hard work. It has always been my slogan for years. Okay. That's my slogan. All right. So once I'm done, I'm going to click save on that. So everything is saved. Okay. Actually, before I leave, let me make sure there's something else I need to put in. Okay, agent license number. That's my license number. So that looks good. Good, good, good. Okay. Now, next to the About Me page is the sign in and security. So go ahead and click that. Sign in. I use sign in, you can use your email or you can use your first and last name, whatever that works for you. It doesn't have to be your email. Okay. Now you can do a reset password here, but in order to do the reset password here, as opposed to the forgot password, you have to know your current password. Otherwise you can't do it here. You have to do the forgot password. Okay. Now security, right now I have the two-factor authentication. I think that's a good security system. Now, even if you have the two-factor, now what does two-factor mean? Two-factor means that every time that you want to log in, you have to input a code that they text to your cell number. Now, this is my mobile number. This is the number where they send the text message to. Two-factor actually protects your account from being accessed by someone else. Okay. Now, if you have a VA working for you, the two-factor is a little inconvenient, because the two-factor means that if she's working in the middle of the night, she can't access your zip form, and she texts you close to 12 o'clock, and you have to give her the code. I mean, she asks for the code, and you have to give her the code. So for mine, they set it on because, no, actually it can be off, but okay. Currently, I think I prefer it to be on. Okay. So yeah, turn it on to protect my security. Okay. All right, so that's where you do the setting for this. And the next one is officers. Now for you guys, you will input the company name here, CenterMac Realty Inc. If you are CenterMac Realty. If you're an affiliate, put in the affiliate's name. Address, depending on what office you work at. Okay. Now in the future, once we become a virtual office, there will be a definite address for you. But they were still going to have a physical address. It's just that the scale of the office is smaller. Okay. Now, because I have several offices, I can only pick one. In this case, I pick Fremont. The disadvantage is that if I'm trying to submit an offer in Southern California, the auto population will have the Fremont address. So I have to constantly go back and revise it. But if you only work in a particular office, this should remain a constant. So every time it'll be populated for you, you don't have to type it. Okay. And of course, you put in the phone number and the fax number. So that's done. Now, forms. The form page basically prioritize all the forms that you have access to. They show up here. You can actually organize the order of the form by clicking this button here, and then you go to the left. Right here, you see that little cross. You can actually drag it up to make it on top. Whatever form library you want to give priority to, you can drag it up and down. Okay, whatever your preference is. Whatever that is at the top will show up first in the drop down menu. So it's important to know this. Okay, so I'm just gonna click done organizing, and I'm gonna click close because I didn't do anything. Oops, what did I do? Oh, okay. I was at About Me. Now I have to go back to About Me again. Sorry about that. Okay. Now we're done with forms. Products. Products is where what it shows of what products your zip form gives you. What products you have depends on what type of account you have. You only have the basic, then you only have the basic product. But if you have the elite agent, your products will look different though. Now this is because I have the Elite Agent. Look what I have. This one, the Zip Form Plus Transaction Coordinator. It has some feature that helps with transaction coordination. Cyber Safe is actually about your ZipLogic's electronic signature. Digital ink, the digital ink subscription is free for you guys anyway because you have the CAR membership, but it's not free across the United States, only certain association. Zip Vault is where all your documents are saved for a certain number of years. I think it's like maybe 6 years or so. Don't quote me on that because I don't remember the exact number of years. List Flash, I'll tell you, this is a good thing to have because this one will save you time. I don't use it much. In fact, I don't know how to use it, but I do know that if you have List Flash, you can actually do some marketing with your coming soon listing with List Flash. So it's helpful. Now, and then you also see things like, for me, I have MLS Connect, I got CRMLS, Bay East MLS, MLS listing, MetroList, San Diego, and San Francisco. I have all of these things with no extra charge because I have Elite Agent. Once you get Elite Agent, you can have as many MLS Connect as you want. At least in my case, I can get up to 6 MLS Connect. As you know, when I was signing listings all over California, I need to have MLS Connect all over California. But most of you guys, it's just one MLS Connect, even if you pay for the full subscription. Okay. Now this offer place here, it's a wonderful thing to have. It will save you plenty of time to manage incoming offers because, if you don't use this thing, like I did in the past, I just ask people to send offers to my email, and then from my email, I transfer it to either Google Drive. Yeah, usually I transfer it to Google Drive, and then from Google Drive, I transfer it to ZipForm. That's a lot of work. With Offer Place, you're able to give a unique email address just for that particular transaction. Now, it's not for particular ZipForm account. The beauty of it is that it's for a particular transaction. It's a unique email created just for that transaction. So there is no mix-up between transactions. So if you send out the right email, you can have people submit their offer through Offer Place, and it will just show up magically in your transaction folder once they send you the email with the attachment. Now, when you receive the email, of course, the email that you use must be the one unique email that Offer Place gives you for that particular transaction, or else it will not show up in that transaction folder. Okay. Elite Agent, of course, I have that. ZipForm Record Connect, I told you already, I have that. And Transaction Management System, this one is built in. You don't have to pay extra. ZipForm Standard, you guys got the ZipForm Standard. I also have the mobile edition, so I can access my ZipForm through my mobile devices. ZipForm Base Service, you all have ZipForm Base Service. So now you have it. This is all the products that the account gives you. Okay. Now settings, let's look at settings. Settings has to do with how you want to do DocuSign. For those of you that don't have subscription to DocuSign, your e-signature comes from this ZipForm. It's actually no extra charge. It's actually included. So you have to tell ZipForm whether you want to do DocuSign or you want to get the freebie. Because I use DocuSign so much, right now I can't tell the difference between the 2.0 and 1.0. I assume the 2.0 is a more advanced version of digital ink. pick whatever you want. You want the free one or you want it with the DocuSign. In the past, I used to complain about digital ink because I got so many troubles with digital ink, but apparently they fixed the problems. So I'm beginning to wonder, should I have a DocuSign now as a subscribed electronic signature system? I think I might think about getting rid of the subscription if digital ink is working so well. Something for you to think about. Share with me. Write me a chat to see, let me know how well digital ink is working for you, okay? In the chat room so I know. All right, so that's for the settings. Notification system, here is where you turn the notification on. You got the email notification, in-app notification, and then you can decide the notification frequency. You can set it up over here. The where it says send notification, how many days before and how many days after. This has to do with reminders about certain tasks that you have to perform to meet the deadlines. So eventually, at some point, I'm going to have to show you how to set up tasks in your this zip form. That way, of course, the VA will be trained how to do that, so they can actually set up tasks in your zip form for you based on our checklist and our requirements, and of course your preferences, because you know, some people may want to set up for contingency for 17 days for inspection. Some people may want to set it up for 3 days. So obviously the checklist will look very different, the reminder. Okay, so this is where you set up the notification. For me, I set it up for 3 days before the due date and 1 day after, because 1 day after, that means I'm already late. 1 day after is usually a disaster, especially when you have certain transaction where the removal of contingency is passive. Now the removal is passive, even 1 day after it's already late. So the passive one, unfortunately, you have to pay attention to the notification before the due date. Okay, you can set up 3 days before to remind yourself. Okay, send notification daily until due date. I think that's a bit much. I would not go for this one because otherwise my emails will be filled with notifications. So I'm just gonna leave that out. Okay. Docking box. I forgot to show you docking box. All right, I'll show you docking box afterwards. Okay. Let's see. Docking box is right here. It's on top. Now let me go to docking box, and then I'll come back to notification. Docking box is actually a temporary holding place for all those documents that don't immediately get sent to the transaction folder. And why is it important? Because if you have a listing, and if it's a hot listing, and if you expect to receive about 40 offers, do you want your email get filled out with 40 offers? Or do you want all the offers to be sent to one unique email, to one unique place? That way, you don't overlook any offer just because your emails is flooded with your email account is flooded with so many different kinds of email, right? You know, you have, especially worse if you're using your personal email for zip form. So I think the docking box is really, it will come really handy, because if I click this one, now I imported one document just to show you how it is done. Now this is one I actually imported from my download folder regarding an it's an offer guidelines and submission. The reason I remember this folder really, really well, because I was really impressed by this listing agent, how organized she was. She will prepare offer guidelines that tells you exactly what you need to do. Actually, I wouldn't mind I will deviate just a little bit just to kind of share with you what it looks like, because she will give you the step by step about submitting your offer, and then she tells you what her designated escrow company is and what her designated title company is. Although legality might be an issue concerning escrow, designated escrow and title in some parts of the country, okay, but this is how she has it. So I use it as a demonstration document because I want to show you how you can send it to the required folder. So you see here, it says move to transaction. I think TXN stands for transaction. So if I click this, it will ask me which transaction I want to send it to. Now it was actually for this one. I already sent it in here, so I'm not going to do it again. But if I have not sent it here and it belongs in here, I will click it here. So that document is now sent into this transaction folder. See how easy it is? Now, with that is if you are not using the offer place. Offer place is even more option. If you use offer place, it doesn't go into docking box. It actually goes directly into your transaction folder, which saves you an extra step. Because if it goes in docking box, you still have to move it into transaction folder. But if you use offer place, all the offers are going to be automatically transferred to your transaction folder without you having to do anything, because the unique email that they give you is going to recognize the attachment, and then it's going to give you, and then it's going to automatically move all the attachments into your transaction folder. You see how what a time-saving tool this is. Okay, I would definitely recommend that. So docking box, don't forget about that. Okay, now let's go back to notification. All right, now notification. Docking box, email notification. If you are going to use docking box, you might want to turn this on and see if you like it. If you don't like it, just turn it off, because sometimes you get too many emails. It's very annoying, but if you find it helpful, then turn it on and then decide how well this works out for you. Okay. Transaction notification, mine is always on, and I'm still okay with that because I want to stay up to date on my transactions. Document notification, I have mine on. Share notification on. E-signature always, of course, on. It's important, right? Okay. All right. Next, list flash. I told you about list flash. Okay. Receive list flash listings and list flash notifications by zip code. Okay. Now I use my Fremont office and I say 50 miles. It can be less than that or it can be more than that. This one means that whatever listing that you have, you can use a list flash to do some pre-marketing, because you can set up your coming soon, I think, and then do some pre-marketing using a list flash. Honestly, I have not used a list flash yet, but I'm pretty sure it saves you time once you start learning how to use it. Notification setting. All right, now this one says, do not email me. Email me every time a new list flash. Oh, this has to do with list flash. Okay, Right now mine is turned on because I have not started to use List Flash yet. Okay, but once you start using it, you might want to think about email notification. Offer place notification, it is off. I want to turn it on because I want to start using offer place. Okay, it can even send you a SMS text message when your listing receive new offers. Oh, I think that's a good one to have. Now you can actually turn off. For me, I don't like email if I receive an offer. Now this is about offer place though. Now even if you don't have email notification, but if you receive, if you turn on the SMS notification, at least you know that there's an offer that came in that went to offer place already. Pretty much in your folder already, transaction folder. You know it's there and you know where the offer came from. So you can actually give instruction to the buyer's agent, hey, go ahead and use offer place. I'll receive a SMS notification. So I'm going to send my email off. Otherwise, I'll be bombarded with too much notification, right? Okay. All right. Now, next item. To set the mobile number. All right. Now, I'm using my 714. Okay. Now, it asked me to send the code, though. So it needs to be validated first. So I need to send a code to myself before, it will be validated. So I'm just going to do right away while I'm at it, right? So that way I can demonstrate to you how it is done. All right, I just got a notification from Lone Wolf with the code CF4PC. All right, CF4PC. Okay. CF4PC. Right? So verified. So now it is verified. So if I start using offer place and I'm the listing agent, I get an offer that came in through offer place. I get notification. Oh my God, that is very good time management. Everything is in one place. I don't have offers all over the place. In my MLS private instruction or private message, I can tell people, send your offer to this unique email. That way I can get my offer at one single place, all of them. Instead of having to go through all of my emails and then deciding which one I'm going to upload, which one I'm not going to upload. You're going to receive them automatically. Okay. Retention policy, I think this one here. Send retention notifications. How many days for transactions that pass the retention? I don't know what this is. I think it has to do with, send notification about retention every how many days for transactions that pass their retention date. I think it's a good idea if you have a transaction that passed the retention date that you get notification. Maybe you'll be able to salvage that transaction in case you don't want that transaction deleted. Title notification, receive notifications on title orders. I turn it on. Title documents on. Title notes on. I don't know how this one works yet. Never used it. I think it'll be nice. A title. Some title company actually works through zip form. If they have linked with zip form, it will save you a lot of time in case your prelim comes in, you get a notification, right? I think that's a good thing to have. Assistant transaction coordinator. Frankly, I have not used it. Hold on, let me save this first. I suppose very soon I'll start using it. Okay. All right. Assistant transaction coordinator. Right now, Lisa is the one. Oh, this is where you add your assistant. Okay. Right now she doesn't have invitation anymore. So I will have transaction coordinator added here soon. So this is what you do. You add them. right? So this account, I only got one. So I will change it to whoever that's going to be my transaction coordinator. Okay. All right. So that's it. I'm going to show you on the zip form fundamental today. We'll have more zip form training later on, such as template training and transaction training. Okay, that's it. So now let's go to the next topic, which is FIBTA. Let's talk a little bit about FIBTA. Now, I apologize. Information on the screen is both Chinese and English. For those of you that don't read the Chinese, just read the English part. For those of you that read Chinese, you can read the Chinese part as well. Now, what is FIBTA? FIBTA means Foreign Investment in Real Property Tax Act. Okay. Now, it has to do with what the government requires foreigner and escrow and their real estate agents to do in the event that a foreigner, somebody who is not a U.S. citizen or green card holder, sells a property in the U.S., they are subject to a FIBTA withholding. Now, if you have never been in that situation before, and if you got a listing somewhere in the middle of the escrow, but before the escrow closes, the worst thing that can happen is the moment the seller realizes that there will be withholding, and she didn't plan of that psychologically, she wasn't ready for the FIBTA withholding, she's going to approach you and say, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to cancel this listing. Because FIBTA withholding is pretty severe. It is. In a moment, you see how severe it is, but for now, that is always a possibility that might happen. But if you know the FIBTA laws well, you may be able to navigate around it or circumvent around it. That's what we're going to talk about today. Okay? So now, is it a good idea though? Now, at the time of the signing the listing, you just learned about FIBTA today. Is it a good idea at the time you meet your seller to ask them, are you a foreigner? How many times we ask our seller if they are a foreigner? I hardly ask. And in the past, I didn't realize how important that was. That's the reason I didn't ask. But right now, am I obligated to ask the seller if they are a foreigner? The simple answer is absolutely not. And the reason is, you provide the same service to the seller no matter if they are foreigner or not. You treat them equally, right? No discrimination. So why should you ask them if they are foreigner? I think that might be perceived as discrimination, so be careful. That's one reason you don't ask them if they're foreigner. The second reason you don't ask them they're foreigner, because once you start talking about that subject, naturally, the next question that might come up is, do I have to pay tax? Uh-oh. Now when that come up, you're going to have to tell them the truth. You're going to have to talk about FIBTA. So that's the second reason I don't want to ask them if they're foreigner. Nor am I obligated to ask them if they're foreigner either. Ethically not required and legally not required. Why should I? Right? Okay. Now let's talk about whether FIBTA also includes cooperation, partnership, and trust. It may apply to a foreign corporation. If it's a foreign corporation, FIBTA applies. If it's a domestic partnership and domestic corporation and domestic trust, FIBTA does not apply. So sometimes when you have a foreigner seller who's trying to sell her property, I know some agents would teach their seller to form an LLC or a corporation that is domestic, and then have that foreigner transfer title to that domestic corporation LLC, the domestic entity. Now, and have the domestic entity be the seller to circumvent FIRPTA. I'm not aware of any law that says you can't do that. But because it's a transfer from an individual to a corporation, there are certain rules that apply regarding Proposition 13. Because any kind of transfer, you have to worry about reassessment. So be careful if you advise your... That's why I don't want to talk about it, because all these things are going to come up. I don't really want to have to discuss that, because it will throw off your listing opportunity. Might as well get the listing signed first, and then we'll deal with it once we're in escrow, because there are exceptions that you can use. So don't worry too much about it. Okay? All right, let's go ahead and talk about withholding. Now, how much withholding will there be? Oh my God, how come the screen is not moving? Hold on a second. Good. Now it's moving. Oh, it's not moving. Oh, it's right here. Okay. As you know, I got cataract, so I'm a little slow in navigating. Withholding is 15% of amount realized. It's not 15% of capital gain. Let's say the owner bought it for $500,000. The sale price is $100,000. There's a $500,000 capital gain. The withholding is based on the sale price of $1 million and not the $500,000 capital gain. Do you realize how big of a difference that is? That is a difference between $75,000 and $150,000. So it's a huge difference. Okay. All right. Is everybody still with me? I want to make sure you guys are hearing this okay. Okay, I need to see you guys. So let's see. Say something if you can hear me still. All right. You guys can still hear me. Oh, okay, good. Awesome. Once in a while, you got to give me feedback, because I don't want to miss anything. Okay. So now let's go back and do the screen share again. Okay, now let's go back to my Word file. Okay. All right. Now, so we know now. Today we're just going to talk about FIRPTA. We're not going to talk about the state withholding. That's for another day. But FIRPTA only. Now the amount realized is now. So we say that the withholding tax is 15% of amount realized. Amount realized usually means fair market value of property. Okay, so it's usually the purchase price, so it's easy to remember. I always go by the purchase price, but the legal definition is not the purchase price. It's fair market value of the property, because purchase price is not always the fair market value of the property. Remember that. Okay. All right. Okay, let's go down. Now, earlier I mentioned that, I've had a situation that came up during escrow where the seller said, Kenny, I want to cancel listing. I didn't realize I have to pay so much. I even had one time a foreigner owner that I was working with. I was trying to get her listing, and she asked me, if I sell the property, how much tax do I need to pay? Well, my short answer to her is that the tax that you are liable for is the exact same tax, whether you're a foreigner or not a foreigner. I'm talking about capital gain tax. However, because you are a foreigner, you have to allow withholding. Withholding doesn't mean that you're paying this much tax to Uncle Sam. All that means that money is going to go to Uncle Sam immediately, and then next year when you file your tax return, the Uncle Sam will decide how much to refund you based on, how much you are liable to the Uncle Sam for the capital gain. They can't hold your money forever. But if you choose not to file any tax return, that's when you run into trouble, because if you choose not to file any tax return, what's going to happen is that you won't ever get any money back. Okay, so you're paying a big amount, because if your capital gain is small and your purchase price is high, all that money goes to Uncle Sam. That's ridiculous, right? Okay, so now let's look at the exception. Exception to withholding. If you see the number 30, I apologize for the Chinese words. What that means is, if the purchase price is no greater than 300,000, it doesn't matter which part of the country you're in. You can be in the Midwest or California. The 300,000 exception applies across. What that means is that if the sold price is no greater than 300,000 and the buyer is buying it to occupy the property, then there is no FIRPTA withholding, even if your seller is a foreigner. So that's one of the exceptions. The second exception is, if your seller doesn't want to put money in his or her pocket but want to continue to roll the money and do a 1031 exchange, then there is no FIRPTA withholding. That's another way around it. But sometimes when you talk to a seller, say, Kenny, that's not a good option for me. I want to take my money and go back to China. So is there a good way or anything you can suggest for me? Okay, so we talked about two exceptions already. Now the third one has to do with if the person is not a foreigner, then the person just fill out a form to indicate that that person is not a foreigner. Okay, that's number 3. All right, apologize for the Chinese again. Now let's talk about qualified substitute. What is qualified substitute? Qualified substitute refers to a situation where a seller does not want to disclose to a buyer the seller's current address and social security number, because by law the seller would have to disclose to the buyer the seller's current address and social security number on the form if the seller is not a foreigner. But for privacy reasons, many sellers do not want to disclose that. So what do? They ask the escrow to be the qualified substitute. Now in your zip form, there's a form called qualified substitute, but usually the escrow takes care of that. Now if you work with escrow that are familiar with you, they know that in every single one of your transactions, you will opt for a qualified substitute for your seller anyway. They'll do it for you without your asking. But if your escrow doesn't know what to do, or it's not automatic to them, you have to request that they prepare the qualified substitute form. That way, your seller does not have to divulge all the private information. Okay. All right. Now, a couple of other warnings I want to mention. If you know your seller is a foreigner, and you know that the seller has completed a form indicating that he's a domestic U.S. citizen or green card holder, you know that's fraud. And if you know that you don't disclose to the escrow, you could risk losing your commission. Be careful about that. It happened to one of my clients before. Okay, be careful. Real estate agent, whether you represent the buyer or the seller, always be aware if a seller is misrepresenting on the form to avoid the withholding. Now, of course, if the buyer knows the seller is misrepresenting, such as when the buyer and the seller are relatives, the buyer is trying to cover up for that relative. That was the exact case that happened to one of my clients. Brother was selling, and then the sister was the selling agent or listing agent. I can't remember which is the case. And she knows the buyer, the seller lied on the form. She did not tell escrow the truth, so she got into trouble a little bit. Okay, so you could lose your commission. Withholding certificate. Now, one other way to avoid FIRPTA withholding that most sellers like is called a withholding certificate. Now with the withholding certificate, you fill out a form. You basically disclose to the IRS that you're a foreigner, but you want to reduce the withholding from 15% of the purchase price to 15% of the capital gain. So in other words, for $1 million deal with $500,000 tax base, you want to reduce it from $150,000 to $75,000. Now, to do that, you got to fill out that form, and then you got to submit the proof that shows the actual capital gain. Then the IRS will make a decision within 90 days. Now, if the decision is made, there will still be withholding, but it is one where most sellers can accept because that is the exact amount of tax that the seller would have to pay next year when they file their tax return, which is most likely the exact same amount that a domestic person will pay, okay, a non-foreign person will pay. So they accept it. You know, if your seller tried to cancel during escrow, you say, I know you got a problem, but we can take care of it. But in order to fix that problem, though, you need to work with the buyer. Buyer needs to give you the extra time because it will take the IRS 90 days to process your withholding certificate. Your escrow is not going to wait now 90 days. So what do? Now, there are two ways to do it. You can negotiate with the buyer to close after 90 days, or you can ask the escrow to withhold the money within escrow after the withholding certificate is issued, and then release the right amount of money to the seller based on the determination on the withholding certificate. Okay, and secondly, you can go ahead and submit your application for withholding certificate and then let the IRS withhold the entire amount, because after 90 days, they're going to refund immediately the excess amount. So there are two ways to do this. Okay? All right. So once you figure it out, it solves your risk of getting your listing canceled. All right, that's it for FUBTAL withholding. I know it took a little longer, but unfortunately, I got to cover all of that. I hope you guys took away a lot of stuff today. And I'll see you guys next week. Showing the wrong stuff on the screen. You guys still there? All right, see you guys next week.